hope you're doing well. As part of Watercolor Fridays series, every Friday I'm planning to have a watercolor related content. Today I wanted to sort out this palette, so I thought I'll switch on the camera and take you on the process. Now, you remember the previous way I have sorted these colors out, and that was, let me just get my swatch cards out, by using this kind of technique of swatching all of my Roman Szmal's watercolors on swatch cards and then keeping them. Sorry about the sun, it's just so difficult. When I have the time, it could be really sunny, then I put off filming, and then later on something changes in the day and I don't have the time. So I just thought, whatever the lighting situation, I know it can be a little bit annoying, but I'll try to work with it somehow and make it work. So I have a number of different clear stamp sets on my website, alyonacreates.com. The one that I have used here is the Swatch Joy, if you're interested. And yeah, you can find them on my website. And there's also the other two, Color Palette and Color Theory. I've done a restock on some of them, so I think they should be all available. You can create loads of fun swatching journal entries and whatever else you can think of. So today I want to kind of go with the flow. I don't want to lay out all of my swatch cards and do exactly what I did last time. So what I'm gonna do is, I think I will try something different. I will try to position my half pans this direction. I don't know if it's a good idea or not, but I want to try it. So essentially all of my yellows will go downwards like that, and then probably oranges, reds, pinks, blues, etc. I don't think I have a single typical purple here, for a good reason. I don't like purple. But I will help myself just by looking a little bit at these swatches. Also on Jackson's website, there is a whole like PDF file which you can see all the swatches, like hand painted rather, and they're quite useful if you wanted to do a quick rearrangement of your palette. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take them all out, and I think, well, they 100% are all numbered. I'm not sure if I have titled all of them, and then just pop them out somewhere and just rearrange the colors. The reason I'm doing it, by the way, is because I've added these 7 new colors and have swatched them out. I think there should be a video coming out soon, or maybe it's already out. So yeah, these 7 colors were part of my May haul, so you might find it in there. I just stuck them right here, and they're obviously not going within the color arrangement. So let me pop them all out, and then I'm going to bring them back in and maybe do like a fun quick swatch video or something, just so you can see all of the 72 colors. So quite a bit of time later, I have now kind of organized it in a way that I think I'm pretty happy. So what I've done is I used Jackson's PDF, or the PDF of the Roman Szmal's hand-painted swatches, and that is available on Jackson's. And then I've just done a few alternations myself. So for example, a couple of colors like the Lazurite and the Vivianite, they are amongst blues, but I put mine in the grays here because I personally think they kind of should be in the grays, or probably because it would be easier for me to find and navigate throughout the palette, because I need to memorize where the colors are, and that probably would be the best. Porous Pink went along the browns here, away from the pinks. Again, kind of works well here with the, so this kind of beautiful double row, 4 different skin tones, works quite nicely, carrying on into some of the colors in the 3rd row and couple in the previous. So my browns are here, and then finishing off with some darker browns, and actually these are still browns, and yeah, even the Van Dyke brown at the end. So the entire 3 rows here, they just looked a little bit grey to me, but no. So the entire 3 rows and 2 colors from here are all perfect for skin tones. And then we have the grays right at the end, and the buff titanium in their swatch is in the beginning, but I thought the balance would be thrown off if I put the buff titanium at the beginning of the colors. I wanted to start with the lovely and cheerful yellow colors here, and then just bring it right at the end. The other thing that, or probably the only thing that I still am not okay with, is this color here, which is the ginger red, I believe. Let's see, it's the 368. It's ginger red, yeah. So for me personally, it doesn't work in the oranges, and it doesn't work in the reds. So this is where it's positioned in the swatches, but if you look at it, it's not really an orange. It is an orange, but it's more to be sat with these kind of neutral colors rather than these bright oranges. So I'm thinking it actually works really well somewhere near Aquarius brown. So I'm going to find that Aquarius brown. I believe, let's see, it's one of these colors. No, it's here, this one, isn't it? Yeah, Aquarius brown. So then possibly either before or after, it probably would be well sat well before, I guess, or not, or maybe, yeah. I mean, what's annoying is that if I shift them around now, what will happen is the grays that I have here now will have the Van Dyke brown, which kind of Van Dyke brown is a grayish color. So what I would do is probably this. I'm going to put it up here. So let's see, does that work? That to me looks better, but I might need to swap those 2 colors just to see how it would be on swatches, but I think it'd be alright, just because we're, like I said, we're jumping back to the light color here. I could move them all together somewhere here and then go into the darker. Yeah, why don't I do that? So I think these colors are lovely and dark, so they're gonna go here. And then what I'm gonna do next, it probably doesn't make much sense to you what I'm doing here, but hang on, I think we're there now. Okay, so swatch time. Okay, so I had to draw my curtain. Hopefully it's somewhat better for you to see. And let's start. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, let's just swatch out, focus on the color itself, and then I will write down the names and title them later, and I'll give you a close-up of it as well. So that way we can just look at the colors. I'm going to do the spread on 2 pages and have like 36 and 36, I guess. Just trying something different, I thought, going, you know, lengthwise, or vertically rather. sometimes changing things up can bring you some creative ideas in your art as well, just as you shift your brain to adjust to things, kind of challenge it a little bit. These colors are beautiful, really vibrant. They're easy to wake up and get the pigment going. It's a shame actually that I didn't find this PDF file of hand swatched colors, like the entire range, before, because I was making my previous choices by looking at that like a printout, and it didn't have great kind of, you couldn't really judge the color that well. So now as I looked at the real swatches, then I kind of figured out that there are quite a few colors that I wish I added to my collection. But now I have a full 72 tin here, which is already plenty anyway. There is a lovely coral, so yeah, might be worth checking out. I think it's called something cherry. It definitely has the word cherry in the title. Also, one of the hematites I don't have. I have hematite violet and hematite brown, but also there is a hematite without any kind of other additional color names, and that also looks like a color I would love. I haven't counted how many colors to swatch to get right in. Oh look, one purple I do have. Yeah, it doesn't look like I will be getting all of my swatches onto 2 pages. So maybe I'll start squeezing them in a little bit more. I really like this arrangement of the colors, I have to say. I like having them grouped into sections. I find it quite confusing when the palette has colors all over the place. It might be easy to remember that individual color, for example, when they're shuffled rather than when they're next to each other. For instance, these two, you know, when you have them next to each other, then they kind of look the same. But at the same time, I just can't see myself remembering those colors or finding my way through the palette, like navigating. I think I'd be very confused. So for me, I like it nice and organized in color groups. Everyone is different, like I always say, you do you. The water is now starting to become a bit dirty, so I might, after I finish this row, go and change the water. So I need to manage to get down this row, just squeeze in all the colors. got 5 colors to go to make it to the middle of the palette. So essentially these are my 4 purples. They're a bit more interesting than just a boring old purple. Even this color separates, all 4 separate their pigments beautifully. So what do you think? I think so far the way they're flowing is a good way to flow. Kind of makes sense. We'll see with the greens and the neutrals in a minute. But I think so far I'm quite happy with the arrangement. So these are the lighter colors, malachite and... oh, I forgot what this one, this is... no, this is the Perylene something. Quite dark. The 410 is Perylene Green Deep, yeah. Okay, I'm going to go change the water and we'll continue with the other half of the swatches. Welcome back to the second half of my Roman Szmal palette swatch out. So we have got another 36 colors to go. So we're now diving into the greens. We had a couple of greens in the previous row, but these are the true greens. The other 2 were kind of really light and really dark. These are very juicy. I think in the beginning Roman Szmal came out with a sub green that was a little bit too vibrant to be considered like a traditional sub green. So then they had another color come out which then was more like a sub green. So if I'm not mistaken, let's see which one is which. Not this one. So this is sub green light right here, and this one was sub green, the original sub green, and hooker's green, which looks a little bit more like sub green, is right here. So you take your pick. If you can hear any beeping, that's my washing machine calling me. Okay, second row of the second half. Oh, beautiful. So right now this color kind of ain't sitting right here. So we'll see what I do with it. Now we're going into neutrals, and as it stands right now, we've got 3 full lines and a half for my neutrals. So these are great to mix skin tones. And there is a lovely variety of super granulating colors and medium granulating colors. Or was it moderate? I think they call it moderate. Okay, so this color sits really well here. Let's see what happens with this ginger red. So now we've got the Aquarius. Yeah, okay. So that works really well here all together. I'm happy to leave it as it is. Now I have a bunch of colors which are very close together in color. I mean, they are different. They're just close in tone. So now we're going to go into deeper colors. I didn't purchase all of them. Some of them were sent to me for reviews, and some of them I purchased myself. Oh, that is a very dark one. That must be Indian red. So I didn't select all of the colors here from my palette myself. So let's see how this pink works here. That's another questionable color. That was hard to fit in the palette. Yeah, that works because it goes now into these kind of deeper tones, and tonal wise it goes well, so I'm alright with that. Here potentially could be alright, just to avoid creating like more problems for myself if I wanted to squeeze it in somewhere here at the end. I just can't quite see where else it would work better. Oh, these are all very dark colors. No, rather opaque. They can be opaque, but they can also be watered out. Oh, this one I love. I love when browns are warm. They make the most beautiful dark skin tones, as well as when you mix with them like other colors, it makes really interesting mixes. Okay, so now the grays. Oh, this is a purpley grey. I have to say, if I had to pick one side of the colors or the other, this is definitely the side I would pick. It just sits so well and beautiful together. Right, what's going on here? There's a little bit of... Oh, so these are the lighter colors. These are the lazurite. And the other one, I can't quite remember right now. Aquarius grey and buff titanium to finish. Okay, so one color that is at question for me personally is basically this purple. It's kind of sitting awkwardly, like it should be somewhere here in my view. And then this color, for the better of me, I can't see any other place that would be more suitable for it, unless I like swap it into somewhere here and then maybe make this my last color right at the end as the darkest one, and then have like a arrangement of these sort of lighter colors. That could be something, but this definitely has to be moved. Everything else I'm quite happy with. I mean, obviously Potter's Pink would not sit well anywhere here, and right next to these colors, the purples, it could do well, but then these are way too harsh to kind of jump into that color. Besides the point, Potter's Pink for me personally sits much better within the neutrals due to its granulation properties and the tonal values. So one thing I'll need to do is to take this one out 100% and then try out mixing this color somewhere here at the end, and I will come back in a second. Now, of course, we have perfect filming conditions in terms of light, but at least you get to see all the colors. So basically what I have done now is I have taken the Precipice Grey and moved it right between Mineral Violet and Misty Morning, and I think it sits quite well here. And then I've taken Glauconite and I have moved it right here after Van Dyke Brown. So instead of this color, Precipice Grey, that's gone. And then I have moved around a couple of things here where I just taken the Payne's Grey and put it at the end. So what we have after Van Dyke Brown is basically this strip of colors, and I think it sits quite well. Looking at it as how it was, I think it was alright as well. Just a couple of things that would have interfered with my process of picking colors, I think, when I'm painting. It's just that I like to have this green next to this green, which is olive green light, next to olive green deep, rather than have Glauconite in between them. Didn't make much sense to me in my palette. And yeah, so the rest kind of looks well. It's sort of like the grays at the end, a little bit of a dirty kind of greenish tinted gray. Then we have a beautiful granulating blue, kind of green blue type of a gray, and then we have a light blue gray and a more opaque grey and buff titanium, finishing off with Payne's Grey being the darkest color in the palette. So I'm going to give you a little close-up. In fact, first of all, I'm going to give you a look of these pants right here. I think they look so pretty now, the way they are arranged, and usually, you know, for every artist it ignites some sort of inspiration, although I have been feeling super inspired as it is lately. Really interesting, because although I don't feel my mind is quite there in terms of feeling fantastic, but I am super inspired in my kind of creative side, which usually they are co-dependent, but somehow it's working right now. So let's see the close-ups. You can pause if you wish to take down some info. Oh, and the other thing I realized, for some reason I have them swapped in the palette, so I have the deep orange before the transparent pyrrole orange, but I think this works better here anyway. So basically that's what the sign is up for right there. And then these gorgeous colors on the second page. I hope you enjoy this lovely, relaxing swatch video, organizing the watercolor palette with me, and we will be doing more painting soon, so stay tuned. Thanks for watching.